Testing 1, 2, Wolfpack. Let me know if you can hear this. Oh, man. That's what's up. Yeah, we're here. We're straight. We okay? We okay. Hey, people, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. Glad you could be here today. What's going on? My people on Facebook, my people on YouTube, and as well my people on Periscope. Wolfpack in the house. We're doing it, Johnson. All right, so real quick, guys, I'm now streaming using YouTube events, so things are a little bit different. I hope that everybody can hear. I can't check because my phone got wet. But I did see some comments earlier, so I think we're good on YouTube. Yeah, my phone fell in the water. So it's in some rice right now. So anyway, so I can't really check to make sure all the settings are great, that you can hear the show. But I can go get some feedback on Facebook. I can't get it on YouTube right now. So before we get started in the show, which is going to be a very interesting show, guys, I'm going to tell you, man, we got a lot to get through. And I want to thank you for your patience, because I usually start a little bit earlier than this. It's almost tomorrow. So let's go to Facebook real quick. Make sure Facebook can hear the show. What up, Facebook? What's happening? Facebook peoples. Feliciano Elise. LSC, Lucian. There we go. All right. Dolores Pierce and Susan Gould and Dale Weaver. All right. Loretta and Dadu. Rahul monitoring things over there. Jesse, Rick, Chris, Freeha, Jason, George, Patrick, Chris, Rose, Ernie, Charles, Christine. Got a good crew over here, man. I can hear you, says Chris Moron. Thank you. Sounds good, says Rahul. Hi, Tim. Hi, Wolfpack, says George. Christina says loud and clear. All right. Looking good, Freeha. Thank you, Carrie and Linda. What's happening, Caitlin? Caitlin and Candace and April. Rose, Stephanie, Amanda. All right. Beverly, thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, Mike, what's up, Mike? We got a lot going on. Let me see if I can get a little love on the YouTube. Brad Bloom moderating. David Mel for Maker of Things. Mama, we're carrying signs. Tammy, Honky. Honky Monkey. Hey, I ain't do it. You know what I'm saying? Lisa Friedman, Gary Webb, Schultze 100. Jacob, Pushing Shy, a Revolution MSU. Jacob. I saw somebody earlier, Chris Smith. Dimitri. What's the brother? Black Outcast Media Productions. Shout out to Black Outcast Media Productions for supporting the show. 4100 Studios. Adrian Beard, Adrian 687 Sync. Lumberjack Offs, Luke Kang. Luke Kang? Thanks for moderating, Brad Bloom. And Tammy, what up? Lauren, how you doing, Lauren? All right, guys. So, yeah. All righty then. And Kara, what's up, Kara? I got a Kara sighting in the house. So that's what's up. So before we get too much down the road, guys, let's get going. Let's get going, guys. Time is of the essence, and I want to appreciate you once again. We're a little late today, but this video will be cut up in segments and put up on YouTube. So, let people know that you're watching the Tim Black Show now, though. Share this on your social, Facebook, Twitter, what have you. We're about to dig into it. We don't want to pull no punches, man. We don't have punches to pull, frankly, because it's real out here. All right? It's very real out here. Now, many of you may be familiar with the name Andrew Gillum. I'd like to start the story tonight, start our story or launch our program talking about Andrew Gillum, because Andrew Gillum did something today that sent a lot of shockwaves around. Now, I think this was announced yesterday, but I didn't get wind of it until today. So either it's a slow news day for me, or I'm just behind the times. Check this out, guys. Andrew Gillum, now he was the gubernatorial candidate out there in Florida. Here he is sitting down with Tamron Hall. He's going to divulge some secrets about himself. Him and his wife, RJ, sit down with Tamron Hall to discuss his sexuality. All right? There we go. Discussing sexuality. That's what they're doing. Okay. Now, before we get into what he announced today, I just want to make sure everybody's up to speed about Andrew Gillum and what's taking place. He ran for governor, and he had a very good chance of defeating the challenger, the Republican challenger, Ron DeSantis. Now, we're all familiar with how that turned out because, as of right now, Ron DeSantis is the governor of Florida. I don't think you need a book for that. But what happened months after that is what became this topic of conversation. Now, Andrew Gillum was an up-and-coming star in the Democratic field. He showed a lot of promise. People were wondering if this was going to be the next one, meaning the next charismatic black man to come out of Democratic politics and make it on the national stage. They're always looking for that. So it goes without saying that there were a lot of high hopes for Andrew Gillum. And being a human being, I'm sure Andrew Gillum had high hopes as well. And his wife and his children. Okay, so a few months after the failed election, some people call failed, there's things that occurred. Andrew Gillum became a news item because there was a man, he was in the hotel room, and there was some other people in the hotel room, and one of those people had apparently OD'd off of some type of drug. Now, this was everywhere. Andrew Gillum checked himself into rehab after being drunk in that hotel room. According to the reports that I read, he was so inebriated, he could barely enunciate. Couldn't really explain what was happening. Now, to the layman eye, when you got a couple of guys, all men in the hotel room, and someone is passed out on drugs, and someone apparently, allegedly, was half-dressed, people start to talk. Well, it brings us up to speed to where we are now. Andrew Gillum, he's 6 months off of a rehab stint where he was getting treated for alcoholism and other addictions. He goes on the Tamron Hall show, and he confesses. He says he identifies himself as being bisexual. And he also explained how hurt he was that so many people thought that he was keeping a secret from his wife. It turns out his wife, RJ, already knew. And they had some type of arrangement in their marriage that he was able to do life as they see fit and I guess engage in certain encounters. Now, I don't know. I think that's everything, okay? He admits this. Now, there's going to be more. It's going to be a long-form interview with Tamron Hall, Andrew Gillum. And they're going to just, where they're going to go through various things about the marriage. It's going to get Will and Jada-ish. It's going to get very personal, things that I frankly have no opinion on, don't really want to conversate about. And the only reason why I'm even talking about this, guys, is because of this. I don't care who Andrew Gillum sleeps with. That would be a discussion better left to Andrew Gillum and RJ, I guess. I don't know. Or anyone else associated with them who they've doing whatever. I don't care. What we care about, and speaking as the Wolf Pack, speaking as for my audience, largely, I think we care about policy and we care about, are you being honestly a person fighting for the people or are you not? Now, Andrew Gillum was promising at one point, but then the next thing we knew, he was piling around with the likes of Hillary Clinton and Debbie Wasserman Schultz, which are kryptonite to progressives. Also kryptonite to those people who know what funk smells like. See, it don't much matter, Andrew Gillum, who he slept with or what he did with his spare time. Though any type of destructive behavior does not bode well for someone in politics. It became more of a conversation before that, when we were like, what do you stand for, my brother? Anything at all? Being articulate's not going to do it. Sorry. Freudian slip. But it's not just about being able to represent yourself on the stage. Listen, like I said, I got nothing but love for anyone in their ability to have a private life. In any kind of conversations, any arrangements you have with your wife or significant other or yourself, and that's up to you. Here's the deal. I find it strangely confusing and a little bit disingenuous to go on a show and play victim. You were, and still are, a national profile human being. You were in a hotel room, butt-ass naked, half drunk. People are going to talk. Someone in the room had drugs and consumed them and almost died. This is not Republican or Democrat, and this is not even bad Americans. This is just human nature, man. If you have a name and you have name recognition and you get caught in a hotel with anybody, it's going to be talk. If you'd have been in a room with another woman, it would have been talk. So let's not indict the entire country over the fact that Andrew Gillum got caught doing shit that he shouldn't have been doing. If you're in the public eye and don't want people to talk about you. It's not about your relationship with your wife. It's about your relationship with us. Some of us don't have real lives, Andrew Gillum. I'm sure you know that by now. And we do nothing else but peer through the eyes, live vicariously through other people. And which bears me to this. Why are you even having this interview? Unless you're thinking about getting back into the public eye in some type of political way. What I don't like, guys, is when people pretend they don't want to be stars and want people in their business, and then they proceed to put their stardom and their business in our faces. Yeah, if you want to be on the low, if you want to be just a private individual, and if you demand no scrutiny, it's best to go get a job at the post office. That's if Donald Trump hasn't eliminated them all. I think you get my point. I think you see where I'm coming from. Once again, I have no problem with anybody's sexuality except Mrs. Black. That's the only person's sexuality I'm concerned with. And anyone else's is their own business. But when you are a public servant and you want votes and donations and recognition and to assume leadership roles, expect people to dig into your shit. All right. So next. I think we kind of said what we need to say there. Oh, and people having a whole lot to say about Andrew Gillum on a personal tip. Worry about your own stuff. A lot of other people do a lot of things that you don't know about, I'm sure. Maybe even you. Yeah, anytime people are like overly concerned with other people's private stuff, I'm like, why you got such an issue, dog? He ain't sleeping with you. All right. Next. Ooh, let's go to our big story here. I want to get to this because this is great. I'm feeling punchy now. We're warmed up. We got the lather going a little bit. Got a little sweat equity on the forehead. Bernie Sanders. I don't need a clip. I don't need paper for this. Leave the papers alone, Tim. Okay, so Bernie Sanders, we all know he stabbed us in the heart when he endorsed Joe Biden, similarly when he stabbed us in the heart when he endorsed Hillary Clinton. And I don't want to hear about, he had to do it. I already know that. Doesn't change how I feel, man. I'm hurting. Bernie Sanders, to many of us, is still a leader, and we respect his policies, and we respect what he stands for until he doesn't stand for it anymore. Well, to show that the glimpses of Bernie Sanders and the real Bernie Sanders stood up, is still standing, he made some comments about Joe Biden. Now, some of these comments apparently were made in private. But, yeah. I think he made them. For more information on that, here goes the clip. Yeah.
Election day this weekend, reports emerged of a potential rift between Democrats. The Washington Post reporting the Democratic primary runner-up Bernie Sanders has expressed his concerns privately over the Biden camp's approach to financial or economic policy matters and their appeal to more progressive voters. Sanders, the independent Vermont senator, quote, has told associates that Biden is at serious risk of coming up short in the November elections if he continues his vaguer, more centrist approach, according to the people who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe sensitive talks. Senator Bernie Sanders joins me now. Good morning, Senator. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. You've obviously seen these reports. Are they true?
No, of course they're not true. I mean, look, what I have said privately is what I have said publicly. And that is, I think Biden's in an excellent position to win this election. But I think we have got to do more as a campaign than just go after Trump. Trump is a disaster. I think most people know it. But we also have to give people a reason to vote for Joe Biden. And Joe has some pretty strong positions on the economy. And I think we should be talking about that more than we have. Now, we have done, Ali, 8 battleground states virtual rallies, talking to, several million people. And I think what people want to hear is what Joe is going to do to raise the minimum wage. And he supports a $15 an hour minimum wage. What he's going to do to make sure that we create millions of good paying jobs in this country. And he has a very strong plan for the infrastructure. He knows that we can create jobs combating climate change, which God knows we need to do, seeing what's going on in the West Coast right now. They want equal pay for equal work. They want us to expand health care to as many people as possible, lower the cost of prescription drugs. I think those are some of the issues that people want to hear a little bit more from the Biden campaign about.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes.
There you go, Bernie being radical again, talking about policy. Policy, Bernie. That's all you care about. What about feelings and vague promises? You know, the type the Democrats love to make. That's what sells, right? I know the Democrats are sitting back right now going, man, there he goes talking substance again. Bernie Sanders, you know Joe Biden doesn't want to be pinned down on any policy. If you pin him down on policy, he might actually have to do something to earn your vote. Yeah, Joe Biden, like Hillary, like so many other Democrats, prefer just talking in, reuniting the country. Unite the country and restore our faith in some other flowery bullshit that doesn't do anything for us. Hey, man, I tell you, boy. Now, there's one part of this I do take issue with Bernie. He says that Joe Biden is in an excellent position to win this. He's also in an excellent position to lose this as well, Bernie. Come on, man. I just saw a Rasmussen poll to put Trump's favorability or approval rating at 50%. I don't know where that came from. Where's it coming from? 50%, they like the handling of his job. I'm going to have to double check that, but that's what I swear I saw, unless it's fabricated. and fake news. So look, like Bernie Sanders, like if you wouldn't have canceled your candidacy, if you wouldn't have canceled your campaign, maybe you would have had an opportunity to really push Joe Biden. But at this point, it's pretty clear that Joe Biden doesn't want to become president. I mean, he might be doing it, but it's not like he really wants to. I mean, I don't think the Democrats really want to win. They want to set Kamala up, I think. I mean, look at it. Look at Joe. He's asleep at the wheel. He's in the basement. He's meandering. He talks about nothing. He promises nothing. And look, so Joe Biden put a lot of stuff on paper that people say, and Bernie said that if Joe Biden goes by what's on paper, he could be the most progressive president since FDR. But he could also ignore the paper and be the most regressive or most disappointing president since Barack Obama. Is this thing on? Oh, man. I know I'm going to hear that. That's good, though. You need to know it. So thank you, Bernie, for throwing some water on Biden. I think there's this thing going on, right? All these folks are trying to jump out in front and say, hey, I warned you first. Like everybody wants to be on the record showing or saying that they tried to stop Joe Biden from losing because nobody wants to be blamed for him losing. Here's the trick. Joe Biden, this is his third time running for president. He lost the other 2 times too. And it wasn't because of Bernie Bros. It wasn't because of Nina Turner or Cornel West. It's because he's Joe Biden. Walk it off. Alrighty then. Andrew Gillum, Bernie. I gotta keep track of this stuff. We got so much, right? Here we go, guys. I have to say this. You guys ready? This is important, okay? Very important. Do I have a graphic for this? Let me check and see if I got a graphic for this.
Election Day this weekend, reports emerged of a potential.
How many people are familiar with this picture? All right, it's a picture taken or a screenshot taken from a CCTV camera that captured the imagery of someone ambushing LAPD officers. A 31-year-old female deputy and a 24-year-old male deputy both underwent surgery Saturday evening. This was due to a shooting that took place right near the station, if I'm not mistaken. The shooting of 2 Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies in an apparent ambush prompted a manhunt for the shooter, and it's still underway. Now, here's what we know, guys. This is it. The gunman walked up towards the car, and he looked like it appears to be a he, looks like he was walking past. And then abruptly, he made a sudden left, walked towards the vehicle, and fired several shots. Those shots striking officers in the patrol car. These 2 officers were rushed to the hospital, and they're both in the hospital now. They both survived, but it was really touch and go for a while. There was some serious damage done to these officers. If I'm not mistaken, I think there were headshots. So this was an attempted murder. Now, there's been a lot of reactions on Twitter and many other places where there's been some protesters even who have said, let him die. You should have let him die. And I think some people were blocking ambulances. Am I hearing that correctly? Okay, so let's go here. This is what we want to do. This is what I want to do. Okay, of course I don't condone anybody getting shot in the head, unless they're trying to shoot you in the head. And I don't condone, or we don't condone, or hopefully don't condone violence of any nature. It's just blatant disregard. Okay, there's one thing to defend oneself. There's another thing to just go after people who have done nothing that you are aware of and break the law and try to kill them. This is crazy. Like, the fact that we even have to make a disclaimer that way for anybody on the left or anybody who has been critical of the police, it's crazy. I or you should not have to defend ourselves and say or make sure people know that we don't condone cops being shot in cold blood while doing their jobs, okay? But I would also like to note that as a citizen of the United States and as a fellow citizen to all my fellow citizens, I would also like to say we don't like to get shot by cops when we're just doing our jobs of living our lives. It would be really nice if Donald Trump and the rest of the conservative right and all of the Blue Lives people had the same amount of upset anger about civilians being shot as they do officers being shot. And then, we had these arguments all the time every time there's a shooting. How often do the Blue Lives Matter crew come out and say, oh man, this person was shot. We don't agree with this citizen being shot 15 times. The one citizen shot 21 times who had a mental episode. How many Blue Lives people came out and said a disclaimer, we do not support the shooting of this man 21 times? Not very many, Johnson. But at the end of the day, I blame Candace Owens. I blame Candace Owens because I don't know this shooter, but I have a feeling that this shooter knows Candace Owens. And this shooter knows people like Candace Owens that continue to push the rhetoric that police are more valuable than regular citizens. Yeah, when are we going to admit that these right-wing folks inspire terror themselves? Why can't you take some blame, Candace Owens, for your hot rhetoric that bolsters police at every turn, regardless if they have blood on their hands or not? You don't think that your words encourage? You don't think that your words can encourage deranged individuals to do violent things? You are nationally despised for what? For gaslighting. Not all people do well with gaslighting. Some people have mental issues to begin with. And then we have Candace Owens and Tommy Lauren gaslighting them. All for paychecks. All to pick up paychecks from conservative think tanks. Yes, I blame you, Candace Owens. Hey, if you're going to blame Black Lives Matter supporters with no evidence, I think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Next time there's a shooting, I think Candace Owens should come out and offer her own disclaimer. The next time a civilian is shot, dead by an officer, maybe Candace Owens should have to come out and say, I don't support this. But they won't. Because at the end of the day, they're just not good people, Johnson. They're paid shills. And those paid shills, when they don't call it correctly, when they do not treat both sides with some type of consideration, when they just line up behind their side and push propaganda, they create the atmosphere of us versus them. And whether you like it or not, Candace Owens, your us versus them rhetoric contributes to the same violent culture that you so vehemently oppose. Or so you say. Because if the violent culture went away, so would you, Candace. Just like your Trump support. All right. Enough of that. My condolences to the family. I hope for speedy recovery. And we do not endorse shooting of innocent people. Badge or no badge. Unlike the Blue Lives Matter crew and the Candace Owens-ites. Now, did you guys hear about this? Oh, okay. Well, you got to know what this is first, right? Colin Kaepernick. Oh, man. They started a new football season. During the NFL's first Sunday football, while the league was making a number of social justice gestures, Colin Kaepernick dismissed its efforts as propaganda and accused the league of blackballing safety Eric Reid. Yeah, it's no secret that a lot of corporations and sport entities have decided that Black Lives Matter is a good thing. And social justice is something they want to embrace. Apparently, it moves the needle. Yeah, it moves the needle with some type of maybe merchandise sales or awareness. I don't know what it is, but apparently it's good for business. It's definitely good for Candace Owens' business. Kaepernick's former teammate with the San Francisco 49ers, Reed, was one of the first players to kneel alongside the quarterback during the national anthem to protest racism and police brutality. Now, the thing about Reed and Colin Kaepernick, even though the NFL has embraced and showed, feigned attempts at solidarity with BLM activists and ending police brutality, it all largely becomes a bunch of hot air, used to their own benefit, such as this tidbit that aired during the Sunday night game, or the first Sunday game. Check it out. While the NFL runs propaganda about how they care about black life, they're actively blackballing Eric Reed. Now, Eric Reed took a knee, as I stated earlier, one of the first to take a knee alongside Colin Kaepernick. They also quickly became good friends. Eric Reed was a standout player. He set records, okay? And he's not playing this year. I guess people are going to come up with some type of excuse for that as well. Because, see, when Colin Kaepernick was no longer being picked up, people said, well, he's not a good player anymore. Well, Eric Reed is definitely a good player. I mean, the guy was killing it. And now he's no longer even playing it. While neither Kaepernick nor Reed were on NFL rosters Sunday, they nonetheless made appearances in uniform at every NFL stadium, as seen in that video. See, isn't it strange how the NFL does? Yeah, they showcase Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reed because they want brownie points with black folks and BLM supporters and people who just believe the cops shouldn't just be able to kill you willy-nilly, but at the end of the day, they won't give these men jobs. Sounds a lot like fake support. Sounds a lot like bait and switch. Sounds a lot like the Democratic Party. Yeah, man, come on. It sounds like the Democratic Party. The difference is the Republicans won't even pretend that they give a damn. It said the NFL also had phrases like "end racism" and "it takes all of us" painted on its end zones in week 1. Well, it would only take 2 jobs to not be damn hypocrites, NFL. Let me try that again. You know what? It would only take 2 jobs to prove you're on a bunch of fucking hypocrites, NFL. Yeah, slid that one in there. All you got to do is give Eric Reed a job and Colin Kaepernick a job, and then maybe we'll feel like, hey, it's not just lip service. But until then, you're just folks running infomercials. You're like fake get-rich-quick gurus, side hustle gurus on YouTube. No substance, all bluster. There we go. For anyone who wants to watch Kaepernick play football, though, the only way for now will be via the last installment of the Madden video game series. Damn. Find out more about this article. It's a great article in the Washington Post by Des Bieler. I mean, if they're not going to support him, just shut up. Keep his name out your mouth. If you're not going to support Eric Reed, shut up and keep his image off your screen. That's disgusting, man. You got rich old white dudes who just own these Negroes. Put their likeness on the screen and run it, Johnson. Run it. All right. That's a lot of civil unrest going on, Johnson. There's more. Okay, so Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Ricardo Munoz was shot and killed by police in Lancaster. Okay, so we got violence in Lancaster. Police violence. We'll talk about other violence later. Let's talk about police violence. There was a man, Ricardo Munoz. He had an episode Turns out the episode is that he's schizophrenic. His parents tried to call to have him taken care of. They did not call the police. They did not call police. Parents called the medical facility. Okay, because, we talk about how if you have a child or a loved one that suffers nervous breakdowns or mental episodes or off their medication, you do not want to call police because lots of times your loved one will end up dead. Unless that's what you're going for. Well, in this case, they did not call the police. They called to get him some help, and they said, hey, we can't help you. Because, see, they don't have the resources to help. Because all the money goes to the police departments. So they send the police anyway, and then this happened. Now, remember, this clip is going to be a little graphic. You won't really see anything. There's no blood or gore, but you know what happens. There's also no audio. On September 13, 2020, at approximately 4:13, Lancaster Countywide Communications received a 911 call for a domestic in the 300 block of Lower Street in Lancaster. Caller related that her brother was reportedly becoming aggressive with the mom. Male subject exits the front door of the residence, began chasing the officer. The officer fired several shots from his firearm, striking the subject. The subject identified as 27-year-old Lancaster man Ricardo Munoz. Footage recorded on the officer's body-worn camera. The images contained in the video are graphic and disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. So here goes the officer approaching the home. I don't know why there's just one officer. Seems a little strange. Okay? A little strange that only one officer goes to a domestic call. Maybe it wasn't clear how dangerous this guy was. So this is the home, and I'm assuming this is the sister who phoned. Could be. Or it could be mom. Not sure. She opens the door. She steps outside, closes the door behind her. There goes Ricardo Munoz pursuing after the officer. Officer turns and shoots. It's very quick. But a still shot of the image reveals Ricardo Munoz with what appears to be a knife in his right hand. Okay. I think that's all we need to see there. Okay. I called the police and I was thinking that they would bring my son to the hospital yesterday, not kill him, said Miguelina Pina Munoz, mother. That's what we're waiting for, Munoz stepfather says, Victor Fernandez. Before calling 911 on Sunday, Fernandez and Pina says the family first call was to crisis intervention, trying to de-escalate the situation. Crisis intervention, however, told them to call the police for help. The 27-year-old had suffered issues stemming from mental disability for at least 10 years before he was diagnosed with schizophrenia about 3 years ago. Family says he would have significant mood swings and sometimes become agitated. He was chasing the officer with a knife, Johnson. The grieving family says they feel very let down by the entire system. Understandable. There is no help there. There is nothing there, Fernandez says. I can't even imagine that this city doesn't have a psychiatric here. If you get crazy, you die yourself. Okay. So first of all, this is a very tragic event that occurred. Family, of course, is distraught, understandably. Ricardo Munoz, schizophrenic, not on his medication. Now, I gotta say, folks, we've created an atmosphere, and there's been such a history with police shooting citizens, particularly citizens who are mentally incapacitated unnecessarily, that now citizens are just jumping to the conclusion that any shooting that occurs is a wrongful shoot. I mean, this according to what I see, seems to be the best the officer could do at the time, if not other than not being there. Yeah, like not being there. Like, why can't we have psychiatric therapists, or why can't we have other mechanisms to deal with people off their medication? Let's just face it, folks, we don't take it seriously. At least half of our homeless people suffer from some type of a medical or diagnosable mental issue. We don't care. We throw them on the streets. Then we have citizens like Ricardo Munoz who suffer from it, who have lapses in their medication, and what do? We can't be bothered. We call the police, and the police become the catch-all. Now, I'm not absolving police officers from this, but this is bigger than this one police officer. Nearly half of the shootings that occur, that we complain about, that we protest about, are caused or occur between officers and mentally incapacitated or medicated or undiagnosed individuals. What is it going to take for us to say maybe we need to put some money into it? I don't know, maybe if a popular politician's loved one died from one of these situations. Oh, that's probably won't happen because they're able to afford the best care facilities for their children who may be suffering from any type of mental disability. And that's really what it's all about, right? I mean, as long as it doesn't impact you, you go on with life. So the Lancaster city, there was protest. There's been several arrests made because of the protest. Tear gas was used. Hundreds of protesters took to the streets of Lancaster following the death of Ricardo Munoz on Sunday afternoon. The crowd formed outside the police station. The police department said multiple buildings and government vehicles were damaged by the demonstrators. When are we going to just accept? This is not going back in the bottle. The toothpaste can't go back in the tube. America is going to have to deal with defunding its police, creating other agencies to deal with issues in a less lethal way. This is an extreme case. This is a type of story that the right loves. This is a good one for them. He had a knife and he raised it. But when we showed them footage of a 21-year-old man shot 21, well, a young man shot 21 times, all of a sudden they go quiet. When it's this, they're not so quiet. But I'm telling you, we don't have to succumb to their pushes on this story. Just to admit this young man needed help. The officer acted. But at the end of the day, Ricardo Munoz needed help from the state. And the only help that was given was a gunshot. That's the problem. And we should address that problem if they really care about sanctity of life, preservation of life, not just preservation of blue lives. All right, family, the Munoz family, so sorry for your loss. It's unfortunate, and you're correct, Mr. Fernandez. Lancaster, Pennsylvania should have various remedies for citizens who have these issues. It's a bad situation. All right. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's worse than a bad situation. It's horrible, right? But the number of these stories that I've had to cover, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting a little, I don't know. I don't know word for it. You know? I mean, it happens so often. It's like America doesn't care. We don't care about vets. We don't care about homeless. We don't care about children going through the school-to-prison pipeline. We don't care about people off medication, and we let people die who can't afford their life insurance or can't afford medical coverage. We do it all the time. Can't afford operations, you die. Can't go. You need a GoFundMe to get, a surgery, a life-saving surgery, and we look the other way. I mean, at some point, we got to have a revolution. We have to do something to change this. It's just going to keep happening. And as long as those in power got the money so that their family never truly feels this, never feels the same pain as the rest of us, then they have no incentive at all to change it. And that's a problem. All right, guys. That's all I got. All right, tomorrow phone line's open here. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on these various stories, and I'm sure there'll be more drama between now and tomorrow, or today, later today, I should say. So become a part of it. Also know that this show is not brought to you by any of these weird-ass conservative organizations or weird-ass left organizations as well. Fake-ass neoliberal organizations who pump money into certain YouTubers or content providers or fake shields for the left or the right. This show is brought to you by people like you who care about the show. I want to thank you for supporting the show. To become a Patreon, go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. Starting at only $5, you get all the shows. You can also join on Facebook or on YouTube. Yeah, here you go. What else? Is some more to say? Oh, this week, I guess it's going to be Jamal Bowman. Congressman Jamal Bowman and protege Isaiah James will be my guest on this show, as well as later on the week, Dr. Sandy Darity, amazing economist, professor, is going to be joining us. And we got more stuff to announce as well. We got a lot going on. So we're trying to line up the best interviews to bring you the best content on the internets. Oh, sidebar. Apparently, Donald Trump has put a challenge out to Joe Biden. Yeah, Trump challenges Joe Biden to a debate-off on the Joe Rogan show. A 4-hour debate-off. Hey, man, there's no possibility at all that Joe Biden's going to do that. I don't think Joe Biden can stay up for 4 hours. And we all know what Trump's 4-hour speeches would look like. A bunch of meandering, gaslighting nonsense. Full of bigoted statements and stupidity and carpet bomb of lies. Biden would be incoherent ramblings that mean nothing. So it would be really pretty damn cool to watch, like parts of it anyway. I'd love to cover it. But the only suggestion is, hey, why don't you go on the Tim Black show instead? Joe Rogan's big enough. You don't need any support. Come on, go to real independent media. Thought you wanted to go on the left, not the, I don't know what Joe's. That's what I suggest. That's all I got. That's all I got, guys. All right, that's it. Yeah, send me, I'm still looking for footage from Oregon. We're looking for footage of the fires in Oregon and California. And someone told me they saw smoke as far away as Cincinnati. If you have footage of any of this, please send it to clientcare@timblacktv.com. I want to put it in the video. That's clientcare@timblacktv.com. That makes sense? All right. I'm sweating bullets over here, man. I can't run the air because it makes too much noise, and it's hot. Listen on that, a super chat, and see if we got some comments that we need to read to the audience. Cheryl Tyler, thank you for supporting the show, Cheryl. I see one. I don't even know if this is correct, what I'm seeing here. I don't know. It could be. It's just. This new interface is horrible, guys. I hope my phone dries out so I can at least see the comments. ADOS POTUS and Exile, exactly same old plantation. Yeah. Well, look, guys, anybody I missed, I'm going to have to shout out tomorrow. I can't see it here. There's nothing. I can't concur. Oh, we got a lot of people watching the show right now. What up, people? Let me shout a couple people out, man. We're very late show. Tim Flowbug, what's up, man? Jilly Love, Dave L. Cryptician, Dare Solomon. Lone Wolf. Oh, Loner Weirdo. All right. Sammy Storm. My New York City girl. Phone calls will be tomorrow, my friend. We're going to open up phone calls tomorrow. It's been working lately. I mean, it's not optimal, but it's been working lately. Tom, Zito, and I, we're going to work on it. What's up, Carrie? How you doing? Claudia, what's happening, Claudia? Dimitri, what's going on? Jeff Edelman. Any relation to Edelman? No, Tim. It's different last names. Joe Famous, Neil Sanger. Right. Kerry Capitola. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, guys, join the Wolfpack. I told you I'm trying to catch up to Andrew Scholes over there on the Flagrant 2. It's perfect. He has 17,000 Patreons. I have less than 1,000. I'm telling you, we can catch him. He's not that much ahead of us. We can catch this guy. Come on. He's a comedian who talks about news. I'm a news guy who does comedy sometimes. It's perfect. I'm old, he's young. I'm black, he's white. Come on. Let's make this happen, fam. You know? I like hip-hop, he likes rock. You know, come on, man, it's a work. You know what I'm saying? All right. That's it. That's all I got, guys. I'm going to go drink some iced tea. I'll catch you soon. Remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread. Independent media only, and both parties suck, Johnson. And if anybody, and I do mean anybody, from Roly Poly to Candace Owens, if they're not admitting both of these parties suck, they're not your friend. Should give them none of your attention. That's right. Get out of here. Get out. If you can't admit that both parties are horrible, I mean, what else do you need? Shit. This ain't a Scooby-Doo mystery. These mofos don't care about us. You know? Like, if they can't admit that, why are you listening to them? I just got to ask you. I have to ask you, what do you want? What, a piano got to fall on your head for you to realize that both of these parties suck? When are you going to realize these people are operatives? They're operatives. That's it. They're paid to lie to you. Come on, Facebook. Come on now. Talk to me, y'all. I want to give shout out to everybody on Facebook. Keep sharing the stuff on Facebook. Oh, my goodness, we are killing it on Facebook. Now, if we could only get some love on Instagram. Tell me who you came to see. Tell them who you came to see. That's it, guys. I'm out of here. I'm acting silly now. Shogun. Facebook, what we got? Before I go, let me say Facebook. Ryan Batista. Will Calvert. Ryan Batista said, these mofos don't care about us. No, they don't. George Scheller says, blues music, not team sports. Ben Vineyard, what's this? Always bet on black. Ah, there it is. There it is, Johnson. That's it. All right, now, Freya, Susan, I'll see you on the next one. Much love to you. Wolfpack. Bam. Bam, 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 bam.